Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Carter. I love talking about movies, horror movies, superheroes, and comic books. If you're interested in any of that, be sure to stick around. Today, I wanted to talk about my experience at the Sundance Film Festival, specifically my experience seeing the horror film Together. And it's been a minute since I've sat down and recorded something, so forgive me if I'm a little awkward or stuttering, but I had an amazing opportunity from my university to go up and visit the Sundance Film Festival, which is the biggest film festival in my state, and I was extremely lucky to be able to go to it. I love film, and I was so excited to go and check out some shorts, check out some films that I normally wouldn't be able to see. And Sundance is really all about indie films. And one of those indie films that I was able to see was Together, which stars Alison Brie and Dave Franco. It's also produced by them, and it's written and directed by Michael Shanks. Michael Shanks is a new writer-director. I think he wrote, I'm not even kidding, Fred 3, which is like Camp Fred or something. I saw it when I was kind of looking him up because I was genuinely blown away by this film. This film is one of the best debuts I've seen in such a long time, especially in the realm of horror comedy. There's been a ton of great debuts with horror in the last decade, and Michael Shanks, honestly, in my opinion, joins the rank of just being a masterclass of a debut writer-director, especially in the horror genre. Together was one of my favorite films I've seen in such a long time. And yeah, it definitely helped. I'll definitely be a little biased because I saw it in such a fantastic setting. I saw it in the Library Center Theater in Park City, which Deadline described as a crappy theater with charm, which it wasn't. It was a really excellent theater. The sound design was phenomenal, especially for this film, and I thought the seating was great, and the audience reaction was amazing. So instead of me kind of going through my usual review schedule and doing positive, mixed, negative, this is a film where I honestly think everything here was positive. I honestly enjoyed this film more than I ever expected to, and it's actually been about 2 days since I've seen the film, and when I'm making this review, I've sat on it for 2 days, I've thought about it, I've talked about it with my friends that I saw it with, and I gotta say, I'm easily one of the biggest fans of this film. I think Michael Shanks has a very promising career ahead of him, and I think that the script does such a great job of having double entendres throughout. And that's when a line or an activity or a plot point has one meaning in the beginning of the film, and then it gets resaid or redone, or it comes back later on in the end of the film and it has a completely different meaning. I won't spoil any of those here, but there's a lot in the first act that come back around as the film kind of closes within its themes in the third act, and you really get to see the narrative devices and where all the characters end up. Going along with that, the script was just genuinely very funny. There are three really big things that I think stuck out to me here, one of them being the script, which I touched on with those double entendres, and going into more of that, I think the characters were just very well fleshed out. Dave Franco's character has a backstory that's extremely dark and creepy. In fact, it's where most of the film's scares come from, and the scares I thought were very effective, very well done. In fact, there's two in this film that genuinely scared me so bad. One at the very beginning and one kind of on the break of the second act near the last third of the film. You'll know exactly what they are. One involves a blanket, one involves a office door. Genuinely horrifying. I honestly cannot sing enough praise for the scares in this film. They were set up very, very well, and they were paid off very well. This is a horror comedy, and while it does feature a lot of body horror, some graphic violence, it does feature a lot of comedy, and I think the script, again, was just genuinely funny, and it's bolstered by both Dave Franco and Alison Brie being genuinely funny people. They're married in real life, so their chemistry here is electric, magnetic, and they are just so fun here, playing a couple who is on the rocks a little bit with their relationship, and then they move to the countryside for Alison Brie's job, and Dave Franco is playing music and just kind of chasing a dream he had as a kid, and it's not panning out, and I found all of that to be very, very compelling. Both actors do a really good job of just portraying themselves, portraying the characters they play as very earnest, likable people. Dave Franco's character, Tim, is someone starts out the film and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot stand Tim. He bugs me so bad. As the film went on, I was like, you know what? I really like Tim. And by the end of the film, I was really rooting for Tim and Millie, who is Alison Brie's character, and their relationship and their well-being. and I found myself very, very moved and touched by the end of the film. The film has a lot of really powerful themes and really fascinating themes on relationships, codependence, being complacent, and love. Just kind of focusing on complacency versus love and codependence versus independence and the boundaries of a healthy relationship. And it explores this, and I'm not going to spoil anything because I think this is a film where you should go in knowing the title of the film, knowing the basic plot where it's like a couple moves to the countryside and their relationship gets tested, so to speak. And I think that's all you really need to know. And I think that the themes that incorporate into the stories is so good. The way that the filmmaker, Michael Shanks, just weaves his way throughout this story, the narrative threads are incredible here, and I just thought that he did a masterful job. He is the director here, so the second thing that I really loved about this film, the direction. I think he weaves horror and comedy very well together. There's a lot of really great one-liners here, especially when it comes to Dave Franco and Alison Brie arguing about directions or music, etc. I think there's a lot of great horror moments that come from both what's happening to the characters or what's happening around the characters, what they experience when they're both awake or asleep, and the scenery around them. The countryside setting really was very unique, and I thought it was a very pretty setting to be in, and the film just looked fantastic. The coloring, the shot choice, the set decoration and design was just all around fantastic. And the last thing that I absolutely adored about this film, I mean, honestly, I adored everything about this film, but the last thing that really stuck out to me was the sound design. The sound in the Library Center Theater in Park City, Utah is just so loud, and it kind of bugged me at first. But after seeing this movie, every bone crack, every muscle shift, every footstep or breath taken in this film, you feel it, and the sound design really hammers home a lot of the horror, whether it's the sheets and the bed shifting, or a breath that's being drawn like a sharp breath, or a cut placed on a body, or just like a power tool going. You wince at every single sound, and they do such a great job of just making sure you feel it, and you feel the sound, and you feel every little thing that's happening to these characters. And I just adored every single second of this movie. I cannot wait until August to see this film again, and I cannot recommend this film enough. I'm sure no one here has seen it yet, but I'm going to post this review because if you have seen it, if you did see it at the Sundance Film Festival, let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. Together, for me, is a genuine must-see. When this film comes out, I would encourage everybody to go and see this film. I will not stop talking about this film for a long, long time. It's something that's stuck in my mind. It's just a really enjoyable experience and an all-around, like, really fantastic movie. I mean, it's going to be hard to beat this film as my favorite horror film this year and one of my favorite films in the last couple years, honestly. I cannot wait for this to come to theaters. I cannot wait for it to come to physical release because I'm going to be buying it and watching it over and over and over again. And honestly, all props to everyone involved with this movie, as they should be very proud for creating one of my favorite movies in a long, long time. So overall, I'm going to give Together like a genuine 10 out of 10, you know. Do I think it's perfect? For me, yeah, sometimes there's movies that come around that just feel like they're made for me. And I'm someone who's very easily pleased with films, and I thought that everything that had to do with this movie was just genuinely really, really great, and I had a big grin on my face the whole time. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon, and as always, have a great rest of your day.